Hey, what's up everyone? Paul here with Profitable Freelancer, and today we're going over a very highly requested topic, and that is how to send out the best proposals on Upwork that actually get noticed and that can land clients. So today what I'm going to be doing is opening up the discussion on how you can really craft a winning proposal, what the different elements that go into a winning proposal are, and then how can you start to take action towards crafting consistent winning proposals that help you make more money as a freelancer on Upwork. Now, this video is going to be helpful if you have experience on the platform and you just want some other tips and tricks to land more clients, or if you're just getting started and you want to know more about what the process is even like and what are clients looking for. We're going to be getting exactly into that. So I want to just start off with a proposal is how you reach out to a specific client on Upwork. So as you start to browse through different jobs based on different skills and different services that you want to offer, you're going to be able to start to see different applications that you can send out, and that is what's called the proposal. So when you're crafting your proposal, you want to really make sure you think about three different things, just as a point of reference, just to make sure you're kind of hitting each one on the head and you're not missing out on them. And now this one is all about just being original. So you want to find a way to stand out from the competition, and you don't have that much room to do that. So there's a couple different ways you can do it, but the first thing is really making sure that you fully read the job description. And then you want to pick out the most important pieces of that job description and touch on the client's pain points in that initial cover letter section. Because I'm going to dive in, I'm going to show you actually, because I've also worked on the client side of Upwork. So I've hired freelancers on the platform. So now I'm going to give you a behind the scenes view of why that is so important in a little bit. So stick around to see that. But just understand that's the first thing. You need to be original. You don't want to just blend in with the pack, because your goal with the proposal is to stand out and have the client actually open it and to check out who you are. That's just the first step. So make sure it's original. Now, the second thing you want to do is never copy and paste. So craft every single proposal from scratch. And of course, you can have kind of a template that you work from and that you craft and you mold for each job. But if you're just sending out a generic copy and paste cover letter, you're really just going to blend in. The client's going to know that you're not taking it seriously, and they're really just going to understand that you're not the best fit. Even if you have a bunch of experience or if you have no experience on the platform at all, make sure that you're writing out every single proposal by hand and you're not just copy and pasting to save time, because a lot of this is going to be on you to take the attention to detail necessary to really have success. And if you don't, it's so easy to just blame it on the process, blame it on the competition, but really remember, it's all on you. So don't blame it on other people. Look at where you can get better as you craft your proposals. And the third thing I like to really do in all of my proposals is really go that next step. And what I mean by going that next step, it just means try to go above and beyond what the competition is going to do. Try to really encapsulate the other two things I said, being original, crafting everything, and not copy and pasting. And now what I'm saying is to add in some other level of value, whether you're providing something that's some of your time for free to really analyze the project, tell them why you're the best fit. Maybe you're providing a small sample of work based on their project, just so you can show that you can really provide that next level of value. Or maybe that means you're just maximizing all of the opportunity to attach different files, case studies, and past testimonials from previous clients. But remember, like we went back to the beginning, it's all about standing out. So not only do you want to just stand out, but you also want to be original, and you also want to go above and beyond and offer some level of value to the client as they go and they scroll through and see who's the best freelancer for them. So now let's jump into Upwork. We're on the back end, so I'm actually on my client site, my agency side, where I've hired freelancers in the past, and I pulled up this job description that I posted a couple years back where I needed some help for one of my clients. I needed a copywriter, and you can see that I actually have archived 23 people. So 23 people reached out, and this is what it looks like. You can see that it's just a bunch of different freelancers, and all it has is the first 1 to 2 sentence of their cover letter available for us to see. So what you need to do to really look at these people is you need to click on them further to open up their entire proposal, their cover letter, and then their profile is connected on the bottom. So you can see exactly how much earnings they have, where they're located, previous clients they've worked on, and then you can see how they answered the different questions. So the reason I'm showing you this is so you can start to see what it looks like on the client side, because if you kind of mess up your cover letter in your first 1 to 2 sentences, you are likely throwing away your whole proposal. So really make sure that you're doing enough, especially when you don't have much earnings yet, to really try to separate yourself so the client can even open up one of these. Now, I want to show you what clients do. They go through all of these, they're going to archive the ones that just don't seem like the best fit, and then they're going to start to shortlist a specific amount of them, and then from there they're going to kind of narrow it down and then open up the interview process. So when I was doing this, I narrowed it down to these 3 freelancers you see on the screen, and as you can see, I actually had someone in there who didn't have any earnings yet, along with 2 other people who have some earnings and who Upwork is actually telling me is a best match. So remember that the more work you do on Upwork, the more you do to kind of elevate your profile, get ahead of the algorithm, the better chances of success you're gonna have. Now, it doesn't mean when you don't have any earnings that you can't get started. And what I'm trying to show you is that you have a very, very limited amount of room in the beginning to get them to open it. Once they open it, once the client opens your letter, that's when they're really gonna start to do the comparisons between you and the other freelancers that have applied. So as you can see here, you can see that this freelancer gave me a bunch of different articles that they written on Medium that fit exactly in the niche that I wanted. And this is just really a good way to show you how this person took the time to write out a specific proposal just for this job, and they really went into depth with it here. And you can see that that is what really stood out to me, as well as we go down to the bottom here. And this was kind of the same, where she included her profile and her portfolio for me to review here, really went into what interests her about the project. And you can see that really it's just a pretty well thought out proposal. And of course, we're not going to go super into detail exactly what was said, because that doesn't matter. But what does matter is that you are doing everything I said in the beginning to start to separate yourself from the competition. And then what I want to go over now, and this is really the other side of the token, because it doesn't matter how perfect of a proposal that you can craft, how many attachments you put in there, how much of a case you make that you're the best freelancer. That is only one side of the token. And the other side of the token is what I like to call doing the freelancer math. So now let's jump over to a presentation I have. And this is actually a sneak peek of one of my courses I have on how to build a profitable business on Upwork that you can get 90% off, link in the description right now. But this is a sneak peek because I want to show you that this is a numbers game. So don't get discouraged. If you did a couple proposals, you didn't hear back, don't really get too hard on yourself, because this is what I want to show you. Out of 20 proposals sent out, I did a little case study just when I was building the course. Out of 20 proposals sent out, on average, I got about 6 clients that actually responded to me. They said either they want to get on a call with me to interview me, maybe they actually asked me a question, something like that, but they got in touch with me again. Now, out of those 6, on average, around 4 of them turned into legit phone call opportunities, demonstrations where I really walked through my proposal, etc. And then from there, only 2 of those really led to a paying opportunity, a paying high ticket client. So out of those 20 proposals sent, you can see that each time you go down and you really try to see how many people responded, how many times did we actually get on a call, then how many of those are closed, that is not going to be a large percentage of all of the proposals you sent out. However, that is what is needed to have success. Finding those 2 good clients in those 20 jobs I sent out is what is needed to have success. The odds are you won't send out 2 proposals and just get those 2 clients. You need to think about it from a business perspective, from a sales perspective, that you're going to close a small percentage of deals, so it's a numbers game, and increasing the top of the line funnel, the amount of people you're driving in and the amount of people you're getting in front of. That is what is going to separate you from the competition who doesn't put in this consistent work. Now, if we start to think about how much time is required for this, I like to really put in an hour for each proposal. Now, I know this might sound a little bit on the extensive side, and I'm not saying all proposals need to take you an hour, but when you're really doing everything I said, you're reading the whole job description, that's kind of part of the process. That should take you at least 10 to 15 minutes to review what the post is, look at the client's past work, see if it's a good job for you. Then you're gonna craft your cover letter out, you're gonna answer all of the client's questions about the job, and then you're even gonna add in what I said before, all of that extra value, those attachments, going that next level. And when you do that, that should take you around 45 minutes to an hour. So that leads to 20 hours, right? Then we go down to the client responses. This, I estimate around 2 hours for me to reach back out to the different clients, answer their questions, maybe sometimes I provide some more information. It takes a little bit less time than the proposals did, but it's still more time that is going to pay off. Then as we go down and into the 4 client calls, I like to allocate 2 hours for each call. 1 hour to get ready for the call, research, put everything into place in my notes, in a call script, in the CRM, and then getting on the phone. That can take anywhere from a half hour to an hour and a half or even more. But that is also a big part of this that you need to factor in. And then when you add this all up and you really look at how much time was put in to get those 2 deals, it equals around 40 hours of work. Now, I'm not saying this to kind of scare you off or that this takes a full week of time to land any clients. But what I'm saying is that get realistic with this and understand that if you didn't send out all those proposals, you wouldn't end up with the winning ones. And that's really what it comes down to, because once you do the work, down the line, it will pay off. But you need to really remember the big picture and be careful spending your time on like tiny jobs that just really aren't a job that you want, that you're applying to. Make sure you're only applying to the best jobs, because as you can see, it is a time commitment, but it will pay off if you stick with it and you follow everything I went over. And lastly, I want to end with a note of optimism that one good week of freelancing can change your entire freelance business. And what I mean by that is that all it really takes is a handful, 1, 2, 3, 4 clients to change your entire income on a monthly and even a yearly level. Because the kind of clients I suggest working with are those clients that you can charge an ongoing fee every month from for your freelancing services. So even though it did take that 40 hours on the front end to put in all that work, getting those 2 clients out of that can end up paying for that tenfold. So remember that there is so much opportunity out there. Don't listen to all the haters, all the naysayers that say this isn't possible. Go out there yourself, see how many people are having success on the platform, and I guarantee if you stick with it and you don't give up and you keep putting in the work and you keep expanding your skill set, how much value you can offer to clients, you will have so much more success on Upwork and crafting winning proposals. So once again, like I said, this part was a small piece from my course. If you want to get up to 90% off, click the link in the description to get that. If you want more freelancing content just like this, please subscribe. I'm growing my channel. You guys are loving this content on Upwork, on freelancing, making money online, and ultimately building freedom in your life. My name is Paul Mendez with Profitable Freelancer, and I look forward to your success.